It's been 3 weeks. We are back. It's the NextGen Playbook
We're
podcast,
back, baby.
episode 9. Trying to think of a cool sports player that wore 9. Did Eddie Howe wear 9?
Who?
Gordie Howe?
Gordie Howe? Yeah, he did.
Boom.
That's my boy. Because
So tough.
Wayne Gretzky wanted to wear 9 and couldn't.
I only know that because of that one scene from Ferris Bueller.
Not like that one scene, just the
Or just the whole
character.
movie, but like the one where he's like staring at the painting and he's like questioning his entire existence. Anyways, we're off to an interesting start already. But this MLB playoffs was quite interesting as well. It was one to watch. World Series devolved into kind of mediocrity nearing the end. Although Game One was very good up until the very end, where you kind of got away from them. But what were your thoughts on this playoffs?
I thought they were fun. Very much a massive element of surprise. A lot of obviously the favored teams got knocked out. With the Astros losing to the Rangers, even like the Phillies being heavily favored against the Diamondbacks and losing in 7, which I did predict, by the way. I just like to
I
make that clear.
did I say? I think I said Phillies in 7 in our prediction,
I said Diamondbacks in
which
7.
I kind of backtracked afterwards, and I was like, it's going to be a close Phillies in 5. So definitely an even worse prediction from yours truly.
Yeah, but I thought it was a lot of fun. I hope the Braves can get out of the division series
Turn it
next
up.
year.
And although not a whole lot of the shows, Rangers games are super duper close. um, I thought all the home runs and like I thought that was a fun
Yeah, Adolis Garcia
state
going
rivalry.
after their pitcher Abreu. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of excitement there in that. I think it was game 3, and Astros ended up winning that game, but Adolis got the last laugh at the end, so that was
Yeah.
pretty sweet. And then our boy Nathaniel Lowe
Yeah.
giving us that ring for Pope
Alum.
High School. Yeah,
Josh next.
it's gonna be Josh next. Yeah,
Yeah. But moving back to the future, these 80s movie references are on point.
I watched that movie yesterday, the
Oh,
second one. Yeah,
the second one's
it's all right.
it's not nearly as good as the first one.
No.
And then we don't talk about the third one. Anyways, moving back to the future, what is your way too early World Series prediction?
Um, I sound like a broken record, and I feel like last year at this point, I would have probably said the Phillies. I did really like the Phillies going into this year, and obviously they couldn't get it done. Um, I'm gonna say the Dodgers, and I'm saying that because I know like they haven't really proven a whole lot to us, except for COVID year World Series. But I feel like they just cannot let this happen again, and they've got way too much talent to just exit in the first round the last couple years. And I believe that they will end up acquiring Shohei Ohtani, which is just a massive game changer. Obviously, they dealt with a lot of injuries in the starting rotation, and they will be getting Walker Bueller back, and these younger guys like Bobby Miller. And Emmett Sheehan will be able to keep developing, and so I believe that they'll be able to turn it around and have a really great 2024 campaign.
I'm gonna go for a bit of a dark horse, which this season, they came out of nowhere to make it their way into an 100-win season. They unfortunately got knocked out in the division series in just 3 games. I'm gonna go with the Baltimore Orioles. I feel like this is a really good learning experience. More of the young guys are gonna get brought up. Guys like Gunnar Henderson and what's it called, Adley Rutschman are going to get
Mhm.
more experience in the majors, or they've been given more experience in the
And
majors.
they've got Jackson Holiday down there in
Yeah,
triple A, I believe, and he's looking really good.
yeah, and he's moving up quite fast. We could
Yes.
see maybe not even a September debut, maybe something earlier. So
Hmm.
definitely a really it's a bit of a dark horse, but I could see it happen. Along with they'd have to have a strong offseason as well. I think they'd have to make some good moves in free agency to really put everything together. But
Yeah, I think they've got a really great team up there. I'm just a little worried just because of the lack of experience. That's the only reason why I chose not to include them in my prediction. Although I could definitely see that happening. Just give it a couple more years, but they're building something really special up there in Baltimore. I must admit.
yeah, I definitely agree, and we'll see if they're able to fast track that. But now moving on to singular areas of expertise between the two of us. I did bring up Gordie Howe, which I think everyone should be very proud of. Um, he's our NHL guy. I'm the NBA guy, and those two sports have just started up a new season. Both exciting young prospects that have led the charge on social media. But some different teams that we'd like to talk about. Here, Reed, do you want to take it away?
So, the San Jose Sharks are awful, and
Unfortunately.
when I first started making the notes page for the episode, I put them as like the biggest surprise because of how bad they have been. But then I remembered they were expected to be this bad. Like maybe not 2-10-1, but they were expected, or 2-11-1, but they were expected to be bad, like really, really bad. And this is awful. But and then I remembered one of the teams they've beaten is the Edmonton Oilers. The Edmonton Oilers have the same record as the San Jose
And don't they
Sharks.
have like Connor McDavid?
They have one of the greatest athletes in all of sports right now.
Okay, let's calm down. Is he 7'5" French dude who can do a hezzy pull up into a mid range fadeaway? I don't think
Dude, Connor
so.
McDavid is a future Hall of Famer, and he's only been in the league like maybe 6 or 7 years.
Is Jack Hughes?
Jack Hughes, he hasn't played quite enough. He's
Well, no,
good.
no. Will he?
Oh, I think so.
I like
As
Jack
long as he
Hughes.
stays healthy.
Go Devils.
Yeah. Well, and Quinn Hughes,
Oh
he's
yeah.
also on the Devils. Um, oh wait, maybe he's on the Canucks.
Who
There's
cares?
like three Hughes brothers in the league right now.
We know.
But you have Connor McDavid, literally like sent like I think he's Wayne Gretzky's
Brought down
son.
from the gods.
I think he is Wayne Gretzky's son.
Is it like an angel situation with like Trouty and Otani where they have this really good player but they can't really.
Yeah, because well, Jack Campbell in net sucks for them. He got sent down to AAA is basically is what it is.
Wow.
Gave up 4 goals in his first game on 20 shots.
It's Alec Manoah type tendencies right there.
Yeah, they got to figure that out. Leon Draisaitl, very, very good. Don't know what's happening with him this year. It's just really frustrating, and you might see a situation where you've got Connor McDavid, literally like just fastest player in the NHL, one of the best overall athletes that we've seen in a very, very long time since Alex Ovechkin, Sidney Crosby's come up. And they suck right now. Like they can't do anything, and they lost to the Sharks. And by the way, Flyers fans, you're not exempt. You guys also did lose to the Sharks. But dude, the Oilers have just been next level atrocious, and it's bad to watch. And it's really disappointing. I know I'm going on a spiel here, but they made the Western Conference Finals before. They made it 2 years ago against the Colorado Avalanche. This is just bad because usually they're still in the playoffs. They just can't go anywhere. This is about as bad of a start as you could ever think of.
That stinks. I actually am a big fan of the San Jose Sharks because their logo is cool.
And their colors are kind of nice.
I like I like the teals and all that. Yeah. Moving on to the hoop part of the it's not a rank, it's a quarter. Okay. Anyways, that was a horrific transition. We're gonna talk about the Western Conference, which the Sharks are located in. There's a Western Conference, right?
Yep, it's East and West.
Oh, we're on our game today. Oh my gosh. All right. The Dallas Mavericks, a team that finished outside the play-in last year, controversially. Maybe they were tanking. We don't know. Probably were.
Yeah.
But the guy that they helped tank for, Derek Lively, has been killing it along with their new pickup in this offseason, Grant Williams. I think those have been the two key pieces that have really put this team into a spot where they were down in 11th after adding Kyrie. They're now up into second. Of course, it's been 9 games. We can't really talk a whole lot about it's only been 9 games. I mean, I remember one year the Mariners were 13-3 after the first 16 games of the season, and then they fell off the cliff. Apparently, Deke Gordon wasn't enough. And I remember in 2018, the Mets were also 13-3. And they made this whole deal about, oh my gosh, every year the Mets have done this. They made the World Series. And then they didn't win the division.
Baseball's a long season.
Baseball is a long
season.
Same
with basketball.
Same
with hockey. Same with all of them.
Not the NFL, though.
No, if you start out 13
32 game season.
If you start out 13-3, you're gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah. So Dallas, just a really, really good start. And this is something that they desperately need, especially after a really, really rough last season where we thought Luka might even be on the move. But sticking in the West, a team that the Mavs actually beat in the 2021 playoffs, it's the Phoenix Sun. They're my big disappointment thus far in this season. I mean, making additions like Bradley Beal and Yusuf, and I mean, actually, never mind. Bradley Beal was a big pickup this offseason, and they got some good bench pieces as well, like Yuta Watanabe. I really like Bol Bol. I mean, Bol Bol's good. He's not great. He's not going to do anything crazy.
Bol.
But Yuta Watanabe is good. Grayson Allen is a good pickup. I love Josh Okogie on their team last season. but just hasn't really clicked. I mean, a tough loss to the Spurs, a team that we really wouldn't see contending. Um, but it's just an interesting lineup because guys like, I mean, Yusuf Nurkic is it just he's a bad defensive center. And he's also incredibly injury prone. And they don't have a whole lot of depth in that position. I believe their only other center type guy is Drew Eubanks. So they've been playing KD at the five. And KD's like 6'11. He can not guard Victor Wembanyama. So I think they'll start to figure it out. And I think we'll definitely see them in the playoffs, especially with teams like Houston and Minnesota kind of outperforming, and along with Golden State kind of outperforming where I think they'd be. Sorry for this tangent.
No, it's all good. I've got a couple questions for you. First of all, as a now Sacramento Kings fan, because I met their coach, what do you expect from them to end the season?
Honestly, it's just been like they can't shoot threes. I mean, Kevin Herter was really, really good last year for them on the move from the Hawks. He was lights out from deep. But this season, the defense has really gone up, but the offense has really gone down. And pickups like Jalen Noel was also just not consistent 3-point shooting at all. I mean, I think over the last couple of games, I've heard stats where they had more fouls than 3-pointers made.
Oh,
That
jeez.
is that is unacceptable. And
That's
I
bad.
think they'll figure it out. I like this Kings team a lot. I don't know. I don't think they'll be able to make their way up to the 3 seed again this season. I think this West is a little bit more competitive. Is a
Sorry.
little bit you're good. Is a little bit more competitive than it was last year. But I definitely think they'll move up from the 7th seed they're in at the moment.
And then next question, what do you think of Victor Wembanyama so far?
Incredible, just a game changer. I mean, this is a pretty. I like the Spurs team. I think they've got some interesting players. Um, in Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell is also a really nice pickup, and of course all those younger guys like I'm blanking on their names like EJ Liddell is one of
EJ
them.
Liddell,
Yeah,
dude, Belleville West, Belleville East, Belleville West High School. Oh, I'm a fake holiday tournament watcher. Y'all don't know what that means, but the real ones do.
Jeremy Sochan has. I mean, another nice pickup. I love Shem. I love what's his name? Okay, this is
It's
really sad.
okay. It's okay.
Julian. I'm gonna mispronounce it. Chapenet. I want to say that's it. He's been a non-factor this season, but I thought he was really good in the summer league, so I think he could also perform well. So I mean, I like the Spurs team. They have a mix of veterans and youth, and I think this will be a building block year. We could maybe even see them sneak into a play-in spot, but we'll just have to see how things turn out.
Yeah, anything can happen in that play-in. Very exciting stuff. In-season tournament's been a little interesting as well, just with
I
like
think it's stupid.
with with the courts too, bruh.
I think the courts are interesting. I think it's kind
It's
of
too
weird.
too much to look at. I'm not gonna lie.
But I just don't see a point. It's like the FA Cup, except no one cares about it because it has no history.
What the play-in?
Yeah, no, like the in-season tournament. It's
Yeah.
like the
Oh, that's what I meant to say. That's what I meant to say.
yeah, it's like a FA Cup no one cares about.
I like the FA Cup.
I like it too because here's the thing with FA Cup teams in Division 3, 4, 5, 6, yada yada yada, they have a chance to make it far. I mean, Sheffield United made it to the semifinals last year of the FA Cup. That's not happening here. Oh my goodness, the Houston Rockets are in the semifinals. Well, they're a first division side, so I don't think that makes sense. And you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, and G League teams would get smoked.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. So I just don't. Excuse me. I don't see a point, buddy.
He hits like a
Like a girl.
oh, he finished it.
That was a Home Alone line. Another vintage movie. I'm on a roll today.
My boy.
I'm on a
My
roll.
boy.
I'm on a
My
roll.
boy.
No, I mean, a little bit of a soccer reference, but we're gonna dive in just like a couple players have done, and they've been given red cards or yellow cards. I'm kidding. Don't no, don't hate.
He's trying. We're both tired.
But we're gonna talk about the UCL group stage or the UEFA Champions League, the biggest tournament in soccer,
All
other
right.
than the World Cup, which happens every 4 years.
Yeah.
And we've been in the group stage. We don't know what that means. 4 teams are put into different groups. They
Round
play,
robin.
yeah, round robin style. Yeah, you already know. You know the deal.
Ooh.
And Reed, one of his favorite team, Manchester United, is participating in said tournament. And how's it going for you guys?
Oh, I said beside like most disappointing team.
He's still gonna go on a rant.
No, I'm not
No,
because I don't want to talk about it.
I
I don't want to talk about
Okay.
it.
I think
Should
it's
it be Copenhagen? The referees
um,
blew us over. Whatever. Okay. Most disappointing.
no, they just have the best Rooney in Manchester United Copenhagen history.
I'm just gonna eat you. Besides Manchester United, I feel like the most disappointing team is this this Champions League group stage so far has been Union Berlin. They've been awful
Yeah,
in
I
like
mean,
Bundesliga and in the
I think they just made
UCL.
too many moves this offseason to
Yeah,
like
and I mean they weren't like expected to do like a ton, but they've been really bad. They're like
really
bottom
bad.
half of the in Bundesliga, I believe. They're bottom of their table right now at the moment. I don't really know how many games there's left to play. Like,
There are two.
oh, United's not making
You have to beat Galatasaray. You have to win your final two games.
it, which is Galatasaray and Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Oh,
Safe to say, my prediction was correct.
yeah. Just get us in the Europa League, please. Oh,
You want to be in the Europa League,
I'd rather be in the Europa League than nothing.
but
Dude,
then
Sevilla is last place right now. This is bad.
I know, which I was thinking about putting them, but I mean, at least they have 2 points. Benfica has none. That's my most disappointing
Yeah,
team.
you go right ahead,
In a group
dude.
stage with RB Salzburg, a team in the Austrian league, Real Sociedad, a not even like top 3 or 4 side in. I mean, okay,
Are they
Spanish,
Spain? Nah,
and
an
then
idiot.
Inter Milan, they're good. I mean, Inter Milan is like 1 or 2 in the Serie A right now. Thanks, Roma. Anyways, zero
Roma,
points, Benfica.
Roma.
I get losing Goncalo Ramos and Goncalo Guedes is tough. But like, what is 3-1 to Sociedad? I think they put up 1 goal this whole group stage.
Jeez,
Yeah, it has been. You can't steal points against RB Salzburg.
dude, young boys have more points. I think maybe.
It's unbelievable. Now, Sevilla is not. I'm talking about Sevilla too. How can you not be a Lens side that lost their 2 best players in Seko Fofana and Luis Openda? You okay?
Dude, yes, I'm just like enamored with like how like awful these. Dude, the only team that also has zero points right now is like Antwerp.
But like they shouldn't have even been here, to be
Yeah, I
honest.
know. Were they in like that playoff thing or
They were the team that won the playoff, or yeah, they were in qualification.
that? Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, it's like okay, whatever. Shakhtar
Shakhtar Donetsk.
That's the Ukrainian team, right?
He
Playing
was
in
playing in a second division
Hamburg
German team,
Stadium.
yes.
Yeah.
But Hamburg is a big stadium, so don't worry, they're getting there.
And they have a lot of Ukrainian, like there's a lot of
Yeah,
Ukrainians there. So that's great for them. They're doing better. I know they're not in the same group, but still, I mean, it's getting bad for
a good amount,
Benfica.
of clubs, yeah, especially Benfica. There's no way they're making it to the next round. It's not physically possible, but they need to find some points to just keep themselves in Europe at least.
God, Celtic.
And also, please, Newcastle, stop losing to Dortmund.
How does like these how do these Scottish teams make it? Like just because they win the qualifications?
I think maybe their first. I think their first tier gets a.
How? There's got to be a better league that gets like a spot.
Actually,
No, it has to.
yeah, and then the second. I think the second team always gets put in the playoff, and that's why we always only see one team from there.
From Scotland, and they never do anything. Celtic or Rangers, they don't do anything.
Young Boys doesn't do anything, and I like seeing them there.
In Switzerland, well, they're always in there, aren't they?
Yeah,
they just don't. They just can't do anything. Yeah,
and it is what it
the
is.
Champions League's expanding, or is it already expanded?
Oh no, it's expanding.
Like it's going.
I'm pretty sure it's going to go to a league format as well.
Interesting. Oh yeah, it's going to like 48 teams instead of 32.
Yeah,
right?
just like the
World
World
Cup.
Cup. Yeah.
Let's play football. Okay, I'll stop. I'll stop.
Yeah, you should stop.
Okay.
After another sidetracking, it's my favorite segment. It's your favorite segment.
It's his grandfather's favorite segment.
It's everyone's favorite segment. It's the team to highlight. Reed, take it away.
All right.
With the basic pick.
I remember sitting at that house, the living room couch, thinking, no way, them boys wouldn't win.
Don't touch me.
Between them big 3 pitchers, Andrew and Chipper, it's going to be hard to keep up with the Joneses. But as fate would have it, that Atlanta Magic got put out by them damn Padres. I guess destiny ain't always meant to be. Kind of like you and me that day. We got okay. I'll stop.
Just get on with it.
Okay, so
I'm awake.
Jesus. The '98 Braves,
What could have been?
legendary team, legendary song, and they still couldn't win the World Series.
That's a very Braves thing to do.
They went 106-56, and they lost to those damn Padres
Kevin Brown
in
Shout out.
six games.
Shout out Kevin Brown.
So here's some of their notable guys. They also beat the Cubs. They swept the Cubs in the NLDS that year. So their best hitters.
Oh, that's like a cross reference for you because your last one, the 2003 Cubs.
Yeah, Bartman.
Yeah.
So best hitters, the Joneses. It'll be hard to keep up with the Joneses according to Morgan Wallen, and he was right. You know, that wasn't a prediction. That was a historical statement. Yeah. I should probably move this along. So
I like this team.
They both played 160 games. They both had 150 plus hits. Chipper Jones had like 189, I believe. So that's really good. Not quite 200, but good season.
Yeah, apparently no one can hit 200 because I failed one of my immaculate grids because of that.
Who?
No one can hit 200 hits for some reason.
Oh, I know. Bro.
Freddie had 199 for the Dodgers, and I picked him, and it didn't work, and I was very mad.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Apparently, it's like quite the achievement to do so. I thought it was not.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's to show how much
but like Nick Markakis has gotten like really close to 200 as well. It's like he wasn't like he was decent. He wasn't great.
I don't even know.
Okay. Both had 30 plus home runs, 90 plus RBIs. Chipper had a little bit of a better year overall offensively, hitting 313 with a 951 OPS. Andrew hit 271 with an 836 OPS.
But Gold Glove defense.
Yes. But Andrew also struck out like 140 times in this season, and Chipper only struck out like 70, I believe. Obviously the big three dominant as ever. I feel like it's probably a little bit past. Was this during their prime or?
I'd say a little bit past.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
At this point, this was what year 7 of the big three, or no? Greg joined a little bit later, but like. I mean, Smoltz and Glavine had been like the two
because like Smoltz was the one that pitched in '91 against Jack Morris, and the Twins
he'd been there his whole career, so
the big three were great, and their starting rotation included Greg Maddux, John Smoltz, Tom Glavine, Danny Nagel, and Kevin Millwood.
Millwood is quite
who, by the way, both of those guys had some pretty solid years.
They always found ways to just.
Kevin Millwood's ERA was a little inflated. It was a little above 4. And I know we hate win-loss as a stat, but he still had 17 wins, which is not bad. They all had 15 wins or more. Smoltz was hurt this season, so his stats were good. They were really good, just a really small sample size. Maddux was the only one to get to 200 plus strikeouts. He got to 204, and like I said, Smoltz had some injuries. He didn't quite get to 150 strikeouts. All 5 pitchers had an ERA plus of 100 or more. And the bullpen was it was solid. Their best and most consistent arm was Kerry Lichtenberg.
Quite the name.
With 75 games under his belt, 30 saves, a 2.71 ERA out of the bullpen. And then John Rocker was another guy. Didn't have as many games, didn't have as many saves, but had the lowest ERA out of the biggest sample size with a 2.13 ERA. So this team got close, but close couldn't cut it. A good run to end up with nothing. 98 Braves. Morgan Wallen's performance.
Shout out, by the way, Andres Galarraga.
Oh, shout out. Mark DeRosa was on this team too.
Yeah, but Galarraga was 37 years old, 44 bombs, and a 157 OPS plus. Have yourself a day.
Did he do that in 98?
157. 44 bombs.
I didn't even notice that. Oh my.
Yeah, at 37.
But then he got injured the whole year his age 38 season.
Yeah, so and then he moved away from the Braves. Moving on to my team, I've been waiting to do a collegiate squad, but I couldn't think of an interesting one. And then I realized, wait, one team in the SEC is having a really good year. I want to talk about their first year in the SEC. It's the 2013 Mizzou Tigers.
Where were they before?
They were in the Big 12.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so this was their first year in the SEC, and they made it all the way to the SEC championship game, led by Okay, led by shared snaps between senior James Franklin and Matty Mock. Also,
James Franklin, Penn State coach James Franklin.
okay. Between Matty Mock and James Franklin, Matty Mock was a highly touted prospect coming into the squad, but some off the field issues kind of derailed his career. Just like Steve Garcia. Steve Garcia. They won the Cotton Bowl against Oklahoma State, 41-31,
Cotton Bowl.
which put them into the top 5 for the final rankings for the season. So good job, Missouri. Unfortunately, they lost the SEC championship game to Auburn.
Auburn.
59-42. If you don't remember, that's like the miracle Auburn team that had that crazy tip against Georgia and then the kick 6.
What year was this again?
2013.
That's
so the
right.
last year of the BCS. And
was this when they beat Oregon?
No, that was 2011.
2011.
This is when they lost to Kelvin Benjamin and Jameis Winston in Pasadena in the BCS championship game.
Okay, that's
with a cornerback at QB in Nick Marshall. Well, he moved to cornerback, and then they also had Trey Mason as well, which was cool.
Okay, yeah, makes sense now. I got you.
Some interesting players who you might know for their days in the NFL. Marcus Golden, a second-round pick in 2015.
Yep.
I spent a lot of years with the Cardinals, and his 2 years as a starter in 2013 and 2014, he missed 36.5 sacks. Wow. You won't know this name from the NFL because he didn't do anything. But Henry Josie was their starting back. He had over 1,100 rushing yards and 16 TDs. So have yourself a day, Henry Josie. Shane Ray, a name that you might know. He had some pretty solid years with the Broncos early in his career. Was a D lineman and an All-American in 2014, but he was quite good in 2013 as well. And then the big name from this team, if you know anything about this Mizzou team, it is that in 2013 and 2014, Dorial Green Beckham was a demon, disgusting jump ball threat day in, day out. He was like Randy Moss, pretty much.
Oh, jeez.
And he was
07 Moss with like Brady, crazy,
like 98 and 07 Moss.
Oh,
yeah, it was like jump ball, seam, vertical. All across the field, and him and Matty Mock in 2014 had some really good chemistry.
So they had a nice explosive offense.
Very explosive offense. Please watch Dorial Green Beckham highlights. It'll like transcend your view. It's like Tavon Austin.
West Virginia Tavon Austin.
It's like West Virginia Tavon Austin and Dorial Green Beckham. And unfortunately, neither of them really were able to turn up in the NFL. And once again, a lot like Matty Mock, which maybe this is something going on behind the scenes with Mizzou at the time. A lot of the field issues kind of caught up with him in the NFL.
I mean, no wonder they had so much success though. In like first season at the SEC, you think I know that they were still a Power 5 before that, but the SEC is a whole different ballgame. The defenses are definitely a lot more important in the SEC, and this offense was nuts. That's like the I guess what I'm taking from this is the reason why they were so good is just because their offense was incredible.
But their defense was
it good?
Top notch as well. Their biggest win of the season, I'd say, was when they upset number 7 Georgia at the time, of course, 41-26, and they forced 2 turnovers against. This is a good Aaron Murray.
It says 4 turnovers.
Oh, sorry, 4 turnovers, 2 picks, 2 fumbles.
Ooh.
Yeah, quite the performance for that squad. So have yourself a day and. I love Brady Cook, and I hope they continue to play well this season. Although
have yourself a good season so far.
It's not looking too great against Tennessee.
They're winning 13-7.
I thought I reversed. Okay, let's ending on a low light because I didn't know what I was talking about. We are going to continue on that track, but Reed is going to take it away.
So low light. This happened last night. We're filming this on Veterans Day. By the way, thank you to all those who served our great country. Not thank you to Michael Thomas, second Saints receiver this year to get arrested.
I'm on the Saints, bro.
With a battery charge. I'm not sure what he did.
Oh,
I don't really care to know what he did. This is stuff we shouldn't talk about, but he's an idiot, Mr. Slants.
He can't even.
Mr. Slants is a fair name, right?
Oh, he was good. I wouldn't say Slants. Anyways, he deserves Mr. Slants now. He also deserves to be behind bars.
Just like Henry Ruggs.
Yeah, it's not like he was even going to play, though. So, he's going to, like, step his toe or something. My low light is Las Vegas Grand Prix, which is going on next weekend. Am I excited? Yes. Is it starting at midnight? Yes.
Actually?
And it's not even the worst part. It is a mess It's messing up all the traffic and all the roads in Las Vegas. The course doesn't even look good. I mean, street circuits are street circuits. They're not going to be the best races on the calendar.
I think street circuits are cool.
I think they're cool as well, but they don't.
Monaco does
They
really
don't.
well.
Yeah, they don't really make for the best races. Singapore was the best race this season, but that was just because the Red Bulls weren't really competing. But this circuit looks not great. I mean, 0.6 kilometers straight in the middle of the circuit. What are we doing? There's only like two good overtaking opportunities. So we're gonna see how this race goes. Also, it's been a mess organizing it because the FIA, which is like the governing body of the F1, has had to do this whole thing out of pocket, and they were like gonna make hotel patrons like pay just to be.
It's ridiculous.
It is terrible.
And Las Vegas is already overpriced.
Yeah.
Like,
And
holy crap.
pricing for this, like in comparison, like Monza, a really, really interesting circuit that usually always turns up with a good race. I mean, for every single thing going on between Friday and Sunday, it's only $350. I think for this, it's going to be around like over or around a Super Bowl ticket.
Jeez.
Yeah,
I'd rather watch the Super Bowl.
I'd agree.
I've been
Especially with the
been there,
circuit,
done that. but-
especially with the circuit of this quality. I think we should just get Austin, and then Miami and Las Vegas can leave. Me personally. But after that tangent, thanks FIA. We're gonna
I think you need a bit of a like you need to like get your highlight out of the way because you need some positivity in your life.
yeah, just like the McLarens this season, which have been going up. Although this wasn't very positive for my hometown team, the Atlanta Falcons. Josh Dobbs, have yourself a day.
Let him
This is
cook.
like this is not Baker Mayfield tier, but this is close. This is very close. I mean,
Let him cook.
reports were that he. I mean, not even reports. We know
He didn't know
they
anybody's
they were
names.
they were translating the playbook in the huddle, and he still went out there and balled out.
And he wasn't even supposed to start. Didn't Jaron Hall start? And he got a
Jaron-
concussion,
Mhm,
right?
Yeah,
Poor guy, by the way. First NFL start gets
exactly.
concussed.
First opportunity. I like Jaron Hall.
Bro was not built for this. Where did he go to school?
BYU.
That's right.
So Josh Dobbs, great work. I mean, he was starting to cool down in Arizona. Apparently, the heat was getting to him. But
He doesn't have any hair. How could the heat get to him? Oh wait, yes,
Arizona's hot.
Arizona's very hot. You're right.
But Josh Dobbs, great job, and hope you can keep it up this week. But I mean, I would have liked it if it wasn't get the Falcons, but
Still a cool story, and I don't really care about the Falcons. Patriots keep losing. That's all that matters. Yes,
Your turn.
boys. The mullet legend. He transcended the game. You see that? Guess who my inspiration is? Yarmir Yager, baby! Woo! He's getting his number retired by the Pittsburgh Penguins. Finally, this man gets the respect he deserves. The good old number 68 is getting put in the rafters at PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Who else even wants to wear 68?
Dude, Yarmir Yager transcended the mullet game. Like, you don't understand. He transcended the hockey game. Bro's flow was unbelievable. Give me some of that Yager peanut butter. And I'll put it on my Yager mullet. Yarmir Yager is getting his number retired. They announced that yesterday. I'm so happy for the man. I love Yarmir Yager.
Good for him. But who else is wearing 68?
Hey.
Like, yeah, coach, I want 68. You're not Dennis Rodman.
Hey.
Calm down.
I thought he wore like 90 something.
Well, he wanted to wear the funny number, but then he settled for 68 in one of his stints with a team. Anyways,
February 18, 2024. Mark your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. Yarmir Yager's getting his number retired, baby.
Okay, anyways, this has been the NextGen Playbook Podcast, episode 9. Once again, this has been your host, Charlie, with my stupendous co-host, Reed. And we'll be back at it.
Yager peanut butter.
We'll be back at it in the double digits. Thank you for sticking with us through 9 episodes. Bye.
Yager peanut butter.